Now I want to tell you one more thing. See, earlier we have written this code for product. I'll just run the same thing and I'll elaborate on it. Just running it, just check, just see now, don't do anything. Why this exception? Because when I just execute the project, what is the request? Slash, there is no action member for namespace slash with action name bar, right? Okay. So now I will give a first request to product underscore input. Now I'll just write product name XYZ, description is ABC, and price I say XY XXX. Actually, when I submitted save, in display dot details dot JSP, what is it happening? It's looking for S colon property price. Now in product dot Java, what I gave was price was integer. I think for you, you wrote it as string, right? Actually, here in this case, I am passing string value. I don't want to see that string value populated. Conversion error should happen, right? So in this case, even though string was, it was not able to convert string to int, if I just print what is the value of price here, what will it print? It's a price. String was passed, which cannot be converted to int. Just run it. See here. Again, I'll go back. I'll submit yeah. What is the value of price? 0. So what happened actually? If you see the exception, what is it saying? There is no method, no such method set price which is taking string. So it was not able to convert string to int, right? I was expecting some error message, but I was shown in the browser. I was not shown any error, right? I was expecting some error message. So what to do when conversion errors happen? See here, I am just making it to extend action. In this action support, if you are extending action support, this action support is internally implementing an interface called as validation aware. It's already implementing interface called as validation aware. That's the reason why I am not able, why it's not giving any error, as it's already extending it, right? Action support is implementing an interface called as validation aware. If you are extending action support, if there are some conversion errors, let us see what will happen now. I just made product to extend action support. I just restart my system. And I'm giving a request. I'll go back. I'll use browse or Firefox. I'll submit string for int. Oh, what am I getting? No result defined for action, com.train.product and result input. So when your action class is extending action support, it is internally implementing validation aware interface. Okay, I'll just show you what happens. A failed type conversion will not necessarily stop struts. When conversion fails, it will not stop struts. There are two possible outcomes for this behavior. Which one will happen depends on whether or not your action implements validation aware interface. If the action class does not implement this interface, validation aware, struts will continue by invoking the action method upon the failed type conversion as if nothing bad has happened. So if your action class is not implementing this interface, what struts will do? It will call the execute method normally as if nothing has happened, right? If your class does not implement this interface. If the class does implement this interface, struts will prevent the action method from being invoked. Rather, struts will inquire if the corresponding action element declaration contains an input result. Is there a result tag with name as input? We will see. If so, struts will forward the page defined in the result element. If no such result was found, struts will throw an exception. Right? So whenever conversion errors occur, there are two cases. Just tell you whether your class implements validation aware interface or not. If your class is not implementing validation aware, actually action support is already implementing validation aware. So just we extend action support. If your class does not implement validation aware interface, what the struts will do? Struts will just call this execute method as if nothing has happened. So you saw price as default value is 0. If your class is implementing validation aware interface, in this case it's extending action support is implementing it. What will happen? Struts will not execute your execute method, but you will see in the action tag. In the action tag, is there a result tag with name is equals to input? If there is a result tag with name is equals to input, it will forward to that result. So whenever there is a validation error, I want it to be forwarded to same page. So I will say name is equals to input product.usp. Right? If there is no such tag, I got an error message. When I give this tag, let's see. I'll just restart again. Going back. Again I am typing something. What is happening? I am seeing error message. Invalid value for field price. If I submit a int value, it will submit correctly. Right? So conversion errors can be handled by making your class to extend action support, and also in your action tag you should specify a result with name input. So whenever conversion errors are there, it will again be forwarded to the result whose name is input, and inside this JSP already we are using s colon text field, right? S colon text field. This is a tag. There will be a tag handler for this, right? This tag handler, what it will do, it will display the error message automatically, right? So we are seeing a default error message saying invalid value for field price, but I want to give my customized message. I don't want to use the default value, default method. So how to do? What I need to do is I need to write a properties file called as product.properties. General file, a properties file whose name is same as the class name. In the same package I need to write product dot properties. In that I need to write like this: invalid dot field value dot field name, invalid dot field value dot field name is what? Price. I'll just say price should be a number. So I gave my custom message. Right? Now let me just restart and check. Okay, go back and refresh. Okay, now I'm submitting an invalid value. Okay, 1 minute. Invalid dot field value dot field name. I'll just use small v. Just again restart. Okay. Price should be a number. I got my custom message, right? So try it out. If I show the view source, if you see the source, where is the error message? Yeah, if this is the code for error message. So it is already in a span tag where class is equal to error message. I want to display the error message in red color. What should I do? Shall I write a CSS for this class error message? Right? If I write a CSS and specify color as red, the error message will be displayed in red. So I'll just go to the JSP and in the head tag I will write style tag. Style. What is the class selector should start with? No, hash is ID selector. Dot error message. And I will say color is equals to red color. Okay. Now let me just restart the server. It already started. Just submit again. Now you are seeing the error message in red color. So that's about how to handle conversion errors, right? Next, what if exception occurs in your action? There is a possibility that in your action there is an exception. Exception is possible. So just to simulate that, in my execute method, what I will do is, if true, anyway it will be always executed, throw new runtime exception. Some exception is happening. So when my action is executed, it is throwing a runtime exception. So do you want to show the stack trace to user? No. Let's see by default what will happen. Okay, I restarted. I will submit correct price, a number, submit it. Oh, see, I got the exception, runtime exception just for testing. So generally we don't want to show stackless user. We want to show a friendly message, right? How to handle exceptions? I just show you. You can write a tag like this. In struts.xml, in your package tag, what you can do is you can write global exception mappings. Exception mappings for exception java.lang.result, java.lang.exception, the result is error. Why I said as global exception mappings? Exception is possible in this action, this action. Wherever exception occurs, this is a global exception mapping. I can write exception mapping inside action tag also. See here, I'll just write. It's possible to write exception mapping tag inside action tag also. But this will be valid only for this action. If you want same exception mapping for all actions, then you write it as a global exception mapping, right? Okay. So just remove here, I'll write a global exception mapping, and I said that whenever java.lang.exception occurs, this is the result to be displayed. This is the result name to be displayed. So I need to write a result tag with that name, right? So what I'll do is I will just write another tag here, global results. Result name is equals to error slash JSP slash error dot JSP. So I need to write this JSP. I will write this JSP here, error.jsp. I'll just write in H1. There is some problem. Please don't try again. Just some message, some friendly message. Just restart. Then I'm going to refresh it. Now you should see that error page. There is some problem, please don't try again, right? So this is how to handle exceptions in struts. What is internationalization? Tell me. Do you have any idea? Yeah, my application should support many languages. Okay, if you go to google.com, if your browser is browser's language is Hindi, it will show everything in Hindi. Your application, everything should be shown in Hindi. Otherwise, if the language is Kannada, it should be showing in Kannada, right? So here if you see, this is my page. So add a product is in English, product name is English, description is English, price is English. Everything, if my language is Kannada, these all should be support, these all should be displayed in Kannada itself. Right? So how to make sure that your application is supporting more than one language? Let's see. What is internationalization? A technique for developing applications that support multiple languages and data formats without having to rewrite programming logic is called as internationalization. Same application should work for all languages. Right? The technique which will help us in developing such an application is called as internationalization. Localization is a technique for adapting an internationalized application to support specific locale. Like English. English is spoken differently in UK and differently in Spain. Different in US English is different. India English is different, right? So English language is same, but according to the country again, you may want to show different things. Like tell me an example. Airplane, aeroplane. Okay. Where do you call airplane? In which language? In England, airplane. Huh? In US English, it is aeroplane. Huh? Okay. So maybe if you want to display English, same English only, but based on the location, then it's called as localization. Based on language, total language is different. Hindi, Kannada, Telugu. Then this internationalization. Now I want to support internationalization. So what I should do is, see here. I need not do anything. Inside action support class is an implementation of an interface called as text provider, an interface that provides access to resource bundles and their underlying text messages. The action support is already extending this text provider. Calls to get text methods in action support are delegated to this text provider. So there is a method called as get text present in action support. We can call the get text message and pass a key that will access the local specific properties file and give us. So what do I mean simply is, I have to write a file same as a class name dot properties file. Product dot properties I already wrote. Here I should write key value paste. Product dot properties is a file for English, right? And properties underscore hi dot properties I will write. It's for Kannada I will write for kn product underscore kn is the language code for Kannada. In my browser I can change my browser language. So first I will write it in English. In product, what am I displaying actually? Product name, description, price, just see it. In English, product name I want to be displayed as product name in caps is equals to description price is equals to. So in English I want these values to be displayed on the left side. These things have to be replaced by whatever I give on the properties file. So in properties file for English I am giving key value paste. Okay. Product dot properties is for English language. Now same thing inside product underscore kn dot properties. I think this is place here. Okay, product underscore kn dot properties. Tell me what is product name in Kannada? Product means what is in what is it in Kannada? Kannada people. Product. Utpadana. Vastu. Vastu. Vastu means object. What is product then? Utpatti. Production. Product means? Utpanna. Utpannada. Yes. Okay, description. Vivarana. Price. Bele, Bele. So now according to my browser's language, I want these values to be displayed on the browser. What I should do is, in this JSP, I was giving a label, right? Instead of giving hard coding the label, what I'll do is I'll use percentage. I'll write like this. Get text. Okay, here I'll keep single quotes because HTML tags can take single quotes. And here I'll say, what is the key here? Similarly, instead of hard coding the labels, I'll give description, right? So let me just check. I just restart. I'll close my browser. It is displaying in what is the language of my browser? Content I guess. Yeah, language. Oh, Hindi it is. I'll just add Kannada. Okay, I'll close it and open it again. I'll just give English done, maybe Kannada. Let me check. Close and open again. Mm, anyone getting? So I'll just open it with Notepad. While saving, just see here, observe, the encoding should be UTF-8 encoding, otherwise special characters will not be allowed. UTF-8 encoding dot. Let's save it like this. Now I'll just copy paste the same back to Google Translator. Okay, I'll say product. Okay, Angrezi to Hindi. No, I don't want Hindi. Kannada. Bangla. Kannada, okay. Products. Utpanna. Copy. Product name I want, okay. Okay, just some characters are mapped using ISO character encoding. Either change the encoding or remove the characters which are not supported. Save as UTF-8. Okay. Now let's check. Just restart my server. I think my browser is not supporting Kannada. Yeah, we have to download that font, Kannada font. Huh? No, translator showed it as an image right here, but font should be supported by browser, so it's not supporting. Okay, if it's supported, it will come. Okay, fine. That's it about internationalization. Now let me go through some of the presentation again. I will just go ahead with OGNL first. What is OGNL? You know what is EL? Expression language is used in JSP. Every expression language starts with a dollar brackets. If you want to show the values inside the value stack, you can use OGNL, Object Graph Navigation Language. OGNL stands for Object Graph Navigation Language. To display the values present inside the value stack, we use OGNL. Okay, let's talk about what is OGNL. OGNL stands for Object Graph Navigation Language. OGNL is the expression language Struts inherit from WebWork framework. I told Struts is internally using WebWork. there are some uses which we will see practically here. Value stack. As I said about value stack, first we need to understand about value stack. For each action invocation, an object called as value stack is created prior to action method execution. The value stack is used to store the action and other objects, action object and also other objects. The value stack is accessed during processing by interceptors. The interceptors has the access to this value stack, and by the view to display the action and other information. So value stack can be used by all the interceptors or inside your JSP to display the data. In order for JSP to access the value stack, the Struts framework stores it as a request attribute named struts.value stack. If you want to access a value stack object in your JSP, the attribute name, request attribute name is struts.value stack. Struts.value stack. You will be getting the reference of value stack in JSP by using expression language. Right? Okay, as I told, there are two logical units inside the value stack. First one is the object stack, and the other one is context. Struts pushes action and related objects to the object stack and pushes the map to context map. So you put action objects into object stack, or action objects and related some objects related to action inside object stack, and the maps inside context map. As I told, these are the 5 types of maps: request map, ATR map, parameters map, session map. Okay, next. The term value stack is often used to refer to the object stack in the value stack. Generally, value stack is having both. Value stack is having object stack as well as context map. But generally, people use the name value stack to refer to this object. Okay. Following are the parameters in the context map. Parameters, a map that contains request parameters for current request. If you want to access the request parameters for the current request, you can use a map called as parameters. What is request? A map containing all request attributes for the session. It is also a map containing session attributes for the current user. Application, a map containing the servlet context attributes for the current. Last, ADTR, a map that searches for attributes in order, in this order: request, session. Suppose if you don't know in which scope an attribute is present, you can use ADTR to search in this order. You can use OGNL, Object Graph Navigation Language, to access objects present in object stack and context. To tell OGNL engine where to search, prefix your OGNL expression with a hash if you want to access context map. If you want to access the objects present in context map, prefix with hash. For expression language it is $. Right? In expression language you use hash for accessing the maps present in context map. Without a hash, search will be conducted against the objects. Right? So in our program, in our JSP, we are using SQL text field. Key is equals to without using hash. So that property will be searched inside the object. Right? Now, parameters, what do we use? Parameters is used for getting the request parameters, right? The request parameter always returns an array of, not a string. Therefore, to access the number of request parameters, you use hash parameters dot count of the number of requests. If you want to get the number of request parameters. So see here, to access the property of an object in object stack, use one of the following: object dot property name or object dot object, and this one or this one is a syntax. If on the value stack, if on the object stack, there is a object with name x, and if you want to access its properties, x dot property name a, x dot, you can use either using by dot operator or by using array notation. Just like in expression languages, you can use dot operator or array notation. Object stack objects can be referred using a zero based index. For example, the top object in the object stack is referred to simply as 0, and the object right below it as 0, 1. What do I mean? Let's take a scenario where you are given a request for action 1. From browser you give a request to action 1, right? From action 1, I will tell you, show you a way where action 1 can internally forward to action 2, action 2 can forward to action 3, action 3 can forward to action, right? So now in this case, in the object stack, what will be on the top of the stack? No, A1 has invoked A2, A2 has invoked A3, A3 has invoked A4. What will be on top of stack? A4 will be on top of stack, below that A3, A2, right? Now there are a lot of objects on the stack. Suppose if you want to access a property of A4, what you can do is you can use 0. Suppose if you want to access a property of A4, you can use 0 dot the property name, right? If you want to access a property of A3, then like this, right? The top object of object stack is referred to as 0, and the object right below it as 0, 1, right? The important characteristics of original implementation struts is that if the specified property is not found in the specified object, the struct will continue to the object next to the specified object. What do I mean? Suppose if I am trying to print 0 dot name, right? It will search for a property called as name on which object? A4. Suppose there is no property called as name on A4. It will continue its search in downward direction. It will look for whether there is a property called as name on A3, A2, A1. So it will continue down the search, right? So if you just display 0 dot name, if name attribute is not found in first object, then it will continue its search, right? Automatically. Okay. And 0 dot password is same as. So if you want to access a property called as password on an object which is present on top of the stack, you can use 0 dot password or simply password refers to top one. Now reading context map by using hash. Hash dot top. These are syntax. Without using hash means it will search in the object stack. If you are using hash means it will search in the context stack. The following expression returns the value of session attribute called as code. If there is an attribute called code in session, hash session dot code will print the value of an attribute called code on session. Similarly, hash request, what it will print? It will search for an attribute called as customer in request scope on customer object. Okay. By using OGNL, OGNL is again powerful. You can invoke methods also. You can invoke static fields and static methods in any Java class, not necessarily an object that are loaded on the stack. You can call any method by using OGNL. So how to call? This is the syntax. At symbol, the qualified name of the class, at the field. So by using this syntax, you will be able to access a static field. And like this, class name at qualified class name at method name and argument. This will call a method. Let's see with an example. See, there is a class called as calendar in java.edu. Suppose if you want to refer to a static field called December, then at qualified class name at December. So this will print the value of December, static field called December in this class, right? Or suppose if you want to call a static method now on a class called com.training.detail class, you use at com.training.detail at now. Static method. This is how you can access static method. To call an instance field and method, use this syntax. If you want to call non-static field, then object dot fill name, no need of a symbol, or object dot method name for argument, right? So see the example. What it will call? 0 means the object on top of the stack. On that it will call a method call as repeat with these arguments. If there is a method call as repeat. Next, you can read a property that returns an array the same way as you would any property. For example, see, colors property, there is a method called as getColors, which is returning a array. So if you try to print colors, it will print like this. You want to test it? And if I just go on. What I'll do is here, in my product class only, I'll try to write a method called as public string array get colors. If this is the getter method, then what is the variable name colors, right? So I'm returning is this a way to create an array? New string array of red comma blue comma green. So there is a method called getter method on product. If this is a getter method, I can assume that the variable name is colors. So I will just try to print in my JSP in details.jsp. I'll try to print s colon property s colon property is used to print a property on a stack. Value is equal to, tell me, I want to print the array. If this is the getter method, the variable name will be colors, right? Or I could say like this, 0 dot on the top of the stack product object will be there, right? So let's see, I will just restart. So I am submitting something. See, is it printing red comma blue comma green? So see here, in my product, once the control comes here, my product object will be on top of that. So I can refer to my product object by using 0. Dot colors means it will call a getter method. If there is a getter method called get colors, the field name will be colors. So it will be different. The array can be printed like this. So that's the meaning. Right. You can access the individual elements by using same notation you use to access Java. Colors of 0 will print 0th color, right? And colors dot length will print the length of the array. Working with the list. See here, there is a method called as get countries, which is returning a list of countries. So if you try to print a column property countries, it will print. So you can access the lists also by using OGNL. And as a list, you can call the methods also. You know how to call the methods by using OGNL on object directly. Countries dot is empty. Working with maps, same. That's the basic of OGNL. Okay. Once you understand this, I want to show you various tags available in Struts. There are various tags for checkboxes, drop-down boxes, radio buttons, everything. There are various use cases. I would like to show you one by one. Right? So I'll build one by one. See here what I'm going to do. I have some code already. Yep, see here, I'm just writing an action called as test checkbox, just for giving a demo about checkbox. In the same project I'm going to do it. See here, if I give a request for checkbox that action, this is a class and this is the one which is displayed, right? Okay, so this class is very simple for checkbox test action. I will just copy it. So what is this doing? See here, it's extending action support, and there are 3 variables, that's all: daily, weekly, monthly. Setters and getters. And what is the JSP? Checkbox.jsp. I'll just copy paste here. Now see this checkbox. How am I displaying checkbox? Checkbox name is equals to daily, weekly, monthly. It is the same as value is that. And for this checkbox third value, it is disabled and it is selected. Right? See, what if I give a request to this action? It's very simple one. I'll take you from simple one to complex ones. What is action? Checkbox dot action. See, it is displaying the checkbox as the last one is disabled. Once I submit, where is it going? See what is happening once I submit. Where is it going? Same action. Again to same action. Once the request is going to same action, these request parameters will go. Then the corresponding setter methods are called, right? And again the same JSP is displayed. When it is displaying next time, here I have checked. When it is displayed next time, this value is already checked, right? I could have done some logic also if required, but there is no logic here. I could write an execute method and I can do something, right? In this case I didn't write execute method. By default I am taking it. There is one more example here, checkbox 2. See what it is doing. Another use of checkbox. See what is the difference? Before I show you this one, for checkbox 2 there is one more action. I'll copy paste this action. Checkbox 2 test action. Going to source, checkbox 2 test 2 action. I'll just show you the code. See here, what is it doing? It's having a getter method called as getter method for magazine list. Okay. If I give a request for it, then the JSP is displayed. In JSP, if I want to display the list of magazines, I can access magazine list, right? So see the JSP page. If I give a request for checkbox 2, this action will be invoked first. The action object will be pushed on to the top of step, and then the JSP is displayed. By the time JSP is displayed, magazine list, is it same as 0.magazine list? So is there magazine list? What is it? It's a list of magazine object. Magazine object is having two things. One is code, one is name. So see here, what I am doing is I am iterating. S colon iterator. S colon iterator will iterate the list. For each magazine in this magazine list, one checkbox will be created. What is the name of the checkbox? Label of checkbox is name, and field value is right. So I'll just give a request, see what will happen. Checkbox 2 dot action. Just restart my server. For each magazine, I got one checkbox. See in this list, how many magazines I added? 4. What is displayed? The label of checkbox is name, but the value which will go once I submit is code, right? So sometimes we want to get the data from database and may want to show some checkboxes. From database I may be getting a list of objects. And by using that list of objects, if I want to show checkboxes, this is the way. I can use iterator to iterate over any list. Just see this. If you you have any doubt, analyze it. Double select. This is a very good example. Double select. Let me show you what is this double select. It might be useful for our use case. I'll give a use case after this, after telling some small things here. Double select. So for double select, this is the action. I am copy pasting the action inside struts.xml. So if we give a request, this is the action which will be executed, double select action. For that, the JSP, what is the JSP? Double select dot JSP. Double select dot JSP. Now I will just restart. And I'll give a request for double select. See what is displayed. It is displaying two combo boxes, one for country and one for city. If I select Canada, it will show that it is in Canada. And if I select Mexico, it will show it is in Mexico. How to get this double select? Very interesting thing. See here, in this double select action, once I give a request, nothing, country and city are there, right? Okay, let me show you the JSP, double select dot JSP. See, yes colon double select. For the first select, the label is location. Select location. For select, the label is location. For the first select, name of it is country, name field for select. List for the first select is US, Canada, Mexico. For the double one, select one. Second select one. The name of the city is cities. For the first one it is country. For the double one it is city. And the list for double one is if top is equals to US, the top one is equals to US. These are the values. If top is equals to Canada, these are the values. If top is equals to else. Right? So this is how double select can be shown. Anything else? So like that, lot of tags are available in Struts. These are sufficient, right? Not much required. I'll tell you the last point for 10 minutes. Then I'll give you an assignment which will cover all the things for 1 hour, right? Just the last 10 minutes. Results. What is the result? Every action must return a string that determines what result to execute. The execute method is returning a string. It should match the name of the result tag. Right? Action declaration must contain result element that each corresponds to possible return value of action method. In the action tag, there should be result tags whose name corresponds to the return value of your execute method, right? Name of the result that matches, and type. You know what about name and type? Default value for type is this dispatcher. Default value for name is success. See? This and this both are same. Number one, both are same, right? Default. Default value for type is dispatcher. Default value for success is name is success. You already know it. These are the various result types. You know about a result type called as dispatcher. These are the various result types. I'll tell you the important ones one by one. Chain. See when a chain should be used. Chain result type is there to support action chaining. As I told, action 1 should call action 2, action 2 should call action 3. That's called as action chaining. Chain result type is there to support action chaining where an action is forwarded to another action and the state of the original action is retained in the target action. Right? If this result type has to be supported, there is one interceptor called as chaining interceptor, makes action chaining possible, and since this interceptor is defined in default stack, you can use action chaining directly. See the example? There is one action called as action 1. The result type is chain. It is having the value of action 2. So whenever you invoke this action 1, if the result type is this one, action 2 will be invoked. Action 2 again chain. Action name is action 3, right? But see here, this is one package and this is another package. For this package, the namespace is. So I want this action 2 to be dispatched to namespace 2 dot action 3. Now finally, what will get displayed? So action 1, action 2 and action 3 are chain, right? That is the use of chain. Type is equal to chain. Type is equal to dispatcher means just it will dispatch. Chain result type is used to chain more than one actions together. As I told you, see here, if action X is invoking action Y, action X and action Y both have a property that touches the same name, then you can access the property in action Y using version X. Suppose if action 2, first action X is invoking action Y. In both of them there is a property with the name X. How can you access specifically? 0.x will point to what? 1.x. You can especially say, right? That you already know. Dispatcher you already know. The dispatcher result type is the most frequently used type and the default type. This result type has a location parameter that is the default parameter. So this is how you need to configure the result dispatcher of the result of the dispatcher. You need to actually give a parameter for the location, or this location is a default parameter. You can just give both are same. Just see, observe. The dispatcher result type should have a parameter called as location, but this is a default parameter, so both are same. So we always use this one, right? If you want to redirect, okay, there is one more type called as HTTP header. HTTP header is 401. If a method returns this result type, it will be shown a 404 error. Right? For this action, whenever you call this action, if the execute method is returning this name, a result of this type, then 404 error will be shown. This is the use of a result type called as HTTP header. You can pass any HTTP header. And this is a use of redirect. See here, type is equals to redirect. You want to redirect from one action to other. Type is equals to redirect. You are giving the URL. So whenever you give a request to this action, it will redirect it to. You can forward to a JSP internally without using HTTP if you give slash. That means you are forwarding to an internal request. Earlier I gave HTTP slash slash. That means you are redirecting to an external resource outside of your application. If you don't give HTTP, if you give slash, then you are redirecting to another JSP in the same application. Redirecting to an action, you have to give the action name, that's all. Right? These are all same. Exception handling we have already seen. Yeah, last thing, wildcard mapping. Whenever you use this action, book dot add method will be called, right? Okay, but suppose if this is the case, when will this action be invoked? To invoke this action, what is the URL to be given? Anything with underscore add. If you give anything with underscore add, this action will be invoked. You can use wildcards in the action names, right? Yeah, once you know this, see this, what this will do. There are two actions, star underscore add for book dot add, star for if more than one wildcard match was found, the last one found prevails. So if I give a request for x underscore add, which will be invoked? Second. X underscore add, even though this is matching, the one which is coming last will be this. Then this one, if multiple matches were found, the pattern that does not use a wild character wins. So if I give book underscore add, book underscore add is matching both, right? But the one which is not using wildcard will win. Now see here, there are two actions, book underscore add, the class name is book dot add. Author underscore add, the class name is author and add. These two actions can be replaced like this. See here, action name is star underscore add. Star, if it is replaced by book, here see, the class name is 1. If you give book underscore add, class name will be abp03a dot book dot add. If you give author underscore add, whatever you are giving in place of star will be replaced here and that method will be executed. So in the writing two actions, you can write single action. Just check. Yep, see here.